Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Katie Widrick. I'm the community manager of the Predictable Success Leadership Center, and today I am absolutely thrilled to talk to you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is exploring our comfort, but also our discomfort zones in leadership. So if you are not familiar with the Predictable Success Leadership Center, I would love for you to join me and our founder, Les McEwen. You can find all of the details at my.predictablesuccess.com. We have a lot of free resources for you as you pursue your leadership, including the opportunity to discover your personal leadership style. We address that in other trainings. You can explore our LinkedIn page as well as our website and social media. And I genuinely want to thank you for taking the time to explore your own personal and professional development opportunities. So today, let's get into it. Let's talk about our zones. And the question you really need to ponder throughout this training today is, it's kind of a tricky one. It seems like maybe it's a layup. It's a really easy one to answer. But if you really let it soak in, I think that you will find that there is some tough mental work that you have to do when you are thinking about what are you giving your time, your energy, your resources to? Are you willing to do the hard work that it may require to go from a good leader to an exceptional leader? And I want to pause and just say, I'm not intentionally charging that language. I'm not intentionally saying that this choice means that you are a good person or a bad person, or a good person or an exceptional person. But I think it is kind of ingrained in us to think that the pursuit of leadership requires hustle. It requires sacrifice. And sometimes it does. I very strongly believe that when you pursue leadership for the right reasons and you follow the right thought leaders, like my boss and my friend Les McEwen, that you have the opportunity to do this in a way that does inspire a healthy work-life balance. But that does not mean that you don't have to put in the effort and the energy. So again, the question is, are you willing to do the hard work that it may take to go from a good leader to an exceptional leader? Because here's the truth, you may already be quite used to working outside of your comfort zone, right? In pursuit of growth, you might naturally find yourself living in a bit of chaos. You're dealing with ambiguity, uncertainty, and yes, dealing with rapidly changing priorities. And that may be because of your own work, or because you serve a team or you report to higher ups who have their own deadlines and their own priorities that get shifted to you. Is that you, by the way? I have a career that is built on this foundation of being the go-to girl, of being the person who can see through that chaos and pull out what's required. I started my career in journalism as a line producer in television news. So baked into that was this sense of lots of people believing that their story and their pursuit of journalism was the most important. And my ability to cut through all of that and put together a fully formed newscast that I hoped presented all of the arguments in the right time, in the right order. I really found a home inside of that. So again, being that go-to person has a really critical role on any team. But I want you to think about the hard work. Again, we're going to go back to this, the comfort zone. If you may be comfortable in that role, you may be uncomfortable in that role, and exploring that and kind of figuring out where do you best serve yourself and your team. That is one of the biggest opportunities when it comes to your pursuit of growth and leadership. So you may have heard this phrase, the only way out is through. This quote, the only way out is through, it applies to leadership among all of the other things. Truly, to get to where you want to go, you will have to challenge yourself. You will have to challenge your beliefs about your own strengths and also about what your perceived weaknesses are, either because you perceive them or because you've been told that those are your professional weaknesses. You will have to confront your beliefs about what your highest value is as a leader. And again, what people think about you, what is holding you back? Some of that, I believe that you probably already know. This is conscious. You know what roadblocks are in front of you or that you have put in front of you, whether that is a limiting belief or, you have not yet been able to access opportunities or put the time into leadership and growth. That, by the way, is why you are here. But you also need to confront some of the things that maybe your subconscious has been nagging at you and telling you this is holding you back. And if you don't make a change, nothing will change. And I want you to pursue growth, right? If you take nothing else away from this training, I want you to know that you are worthy of pursuing growth and doing it on your own terms, at least as much as possible. So I want to ask you, and I'd like you to ask yourself a few questions. Number one, why am I pursuing the next steps of leadership and growth? Right? We talk about this big why a lot. And especially if you have done any mindset work or you've explored, what really drives you as a human, in addition to your work on a team or a work in your own business, we come back to this big why. So why are you pursuing the next steps of leadership and growth? And by the way, I know that you are because you've listened this far into the video. I know that you are because you are on this platform learning and growing and having conversations and networking and really digging into what your life could look like over the next few months and years and through the rest of your career or through a shift in the career that you are pursuing now. Why are you pursuing the next steps of leadership and growth? The next two questions that we're going to tackle, you can't even really dig into them until you have figured out number one. And if you aren't yet sure, I want to encourage you to write out your best guess, even if it's just free form words, sentences, phrases that don't make sense, they don't tell the full story. Even if your answer is, I'm not yet sure, but I feel happiest when, or I feel most aligned with my work and my opportunities when, that's a great start. The next two questions, again, center around the first, but they are, how will I measure my success? And where do I want to be in 90 days, in 6 months, in a year from now? Those are arbitrary benchmarks in terms of time. And so if you know that you are chasing down a time-sensitive goal or an opportunity, or if you have already set yourself a goal to be in X position by Y date, feel free to fill that in. But generally a 90-day goal, a six-month goal, and then a yearly goal, those are all really common benchmarks that you can use to start driving this conversation and pursue your growth. So why am I pursuing this at all? How am I going to measure my success as I pursue this growth? And where do I want to be in X days? So I'm going to prompt you with a quote. And this, again, is from Les McKeown, who is the founder of Predictable Success, who is one of the most prominent thought leaders in terms of leadership, executive coaching. He may, in fact, have worked with you or someone that you look up to. And Les he really, really brings it down to the basics, right? And he wants to encourage you, as he has encouraged me and all of the members of the Predictable Success community, to really do some introspection. We are so caught up in what we do and how our personalities and how the perceptions of our success are aligned with our output. And yes, that is likely why you are pursuing leadership. You want to be more, you want to accomplish more, you want to have a greater impact on the world. And that is fantastic. But this prompt from Les McKeown really, really is effective. And I tell you that from personal experience, because all of this work that I'm asking you to do, I have done myself. And I continue to lead the Predictable Success Leadership Center community through this. So if this feels painful, just know that, again, sometimes the only way out is through. That's a callback to the beginning of our conversation. So here's what Les says. Try taking a while to place yourself in an environment where you're not the one causing the discomfort and where you don't have the ability to manage outcomes. Okay, you might be looking for a little bit more context. Here we go. Les goes on to say, volunteer at your local animal rescue for a week or take a monastic retreat, go babysit, do something that takes you out of your managed discomfort zone. Does that feel, by the way, like a breath of fresh air, like a relief that he's asking you to go out of your managed discomfort zone and go into a place where you aren't the one causing the discomfort? Do you notice also, by the way, that the outcome of this, if you do this, if you volunteer, if you go in a retreat, if you do something that takes you out of your discomfort zone, I strongly believe that it will have a positive impact on you, but it has the added benefit of having a positive effect on somebody else or something else. And generally, you can see that those are all causes and outcomes that I think we would all agree are positive and do have a positive impact on the world. So again, if you don't really understand what you might get out of this, if you're not sure why, just do it. Right. The only way out is through. And believe me when I tell you that Les has been able to seek this not only in his own pursuit of leadership, but with some of your very favorite and most inspirational leaders across the world. This works. And so when Les advises us to take journeys like this, I generally say yes. And I'd like to encourage you to do the same. So when Les prompts you to do this, this is a gut check. Does that energize you or does it terrify you? Does it do a little bit of both, by the way? It's okay if you have some conflicting emotions that come up when you pursue leadership. I truly think that exploring our comfort zones, exploring our discomfort zones, and kind of figuring out what is the sweet spot, that is naturally uncomfortable. Isn't that the irony? That is naturally uncomfortable when we are pursuing change, when we are trying to better ourselves, when we're trying to explore who we are, how we got here, where we want to go, what it's going to take. There is some natural discomfort in that, and even perhaps some dissonance. Again, we're exploring the things that we maybe don't have control over, or we are really having to step back and reevaluate who we are and who we want to be. And that can be really, really tough on our mindset. So if it energizes you, great. If it terrifies you, that's actually okay too. We're trying to evoke some kind of emotion. We're trying to push you to be different and better than you are right now. That's what growth is. And so again, the answer may give you more clarity on what challenges you need to overcome in your growth and in your pursuit of leadership. Now, we've been talking about this for about 10 minutes, and it will not surprise you to learn that pursuing leadership, working on our personal and professional development and growth, it's going to take more than just one training. It's going to take more than just a quarter hour. I really feel like this is a commitment that you can, expect to be doing for the length of your career and your life. And there will be ebbs and flows, and there will be times when you are really grinding it out in terms of growth and doing that hard work that we talked about. And there are times when you'll be able to rest and re-energize and really take another look around and say, I worked hard for these 90 days or these 6 months, and here's where I am. And now I need to have a season of rest. That's okay. And if you're currently in that season, if you're coming off a really steep climb or you've been going through some stuff, this may not be the right time to fully dig into changes, but it is the perfect time to be considering what those changes could look like. If you are feeling high energy, if you are ready to make the change, if these questions inspire and energize you, then this is your sign to take action. And for all of you, I have a special gift. In fact, this gift comes directly from Les McEwen himself. I am delighted to share with you that for a very limited time, and as long as supplies last, and they are flying, so please don't hesitate to take this offer. For a limited time, you can get a copy of Les McEwen's book, Do Lead, for free. The only cost for you is to cover the shipping and handling. You can learn more at mypredictablesuccess.com, my.predictablesuccess.com/do-lead-book, my.predictablesuccess.com/do-lead-book. It's here on the screen. When you take advantage of this offer, you will get a physical copy of Do Lead shipped to you. This is for US addresses only, I'm afraid, but you will get a physical copy of the book as well as a digital workbook that we've put together to lead you through chapter by chapter study. We're prompting you to do a little bit of journaling, a little bit of thought into your particular journey of leadership and growth. So that digital bundle is also included. And then also we'll be discussing this book and all of these themes of leadership in a lot more detail inside of the Predictable Success Leadership Center in the coming months. And I want you to be able to take advantage of all of that. So again, as long as we have copies of the book available for this offer, and they are absolutely flying. I'm so thankful that many of you have already taken advantage of this opportunity. If you have not yet, be sure to get your copy, tell a friend. We are really, really thrilled to be able to offer this gift to you because we feel so strongly in the role of leadership and in, your ability to learn and to grow. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. I hope that something that I've shared on this very brief training has inspired you or motivated you to give thought to what the rest of your year looks like and to start building a roadmap for growth. We talk a lot about mapping actions to your goals inside of the Predictable Success Leadership Center, which, by the way, is free to join. Again, go to my.predictablesuccess.com to learn all of the details. I would absolutely love to see you. And be sure to stay in touch with us here on this page and on social media. We have a number of free resources available on our website, and we are truly inspired to work with you and to see you grow and thrive in your pursuit of leadership. Thank you so much, and I'll speak with all of you again soon.